Welcome to U-Boat Captain Lieutenant. In this series, we will be going through all of the information you need to take command of your first U-boat. However, some of your most important choices are made before you even step onto the deck. After you begin a new game, you are given an offer of command. The U-boats themselves don't particularly matter. What's important is the date that the campaign starts, and where the U-boat is stationed. The earlier in the war you begin, the weaker your enemies will be, and the easier it will be to train your crew. However, technologies available to you will also be less advanced. If you are looking to try to survive the war from start to finish, I recommend beginning with U-48. If you want to take over the role of the crew from the 1981 film Das Boot, pick U-96. Just understand that the later in the war you get, the stronger and more numerous your enemies will be. Now you are tasked with how realistic you want the game and how much attention you want to devote to crew management. These are easy presets that can give you anything from an arcade feel to a full-on simulation. You can select from these presets or skip and customize your realism choices in the main settings. In the main settings is where you can tweak your choices. For audio language, I recommend German if you want a fuller immersion experience and better voice acting. Save mode set to normal will allow you to save the game and return to it later while you're at sea. Ports only gives you more of an Iron Man style of gameplay. Keep in mind that pausing the game doesn't really pause it, it simply slows it down tremendously, so normal save is going to be less challenging. For a more arcadey experience, or if you command more from the control room rather than the attack periscope, you can keep hardcore aiming mode turned off. This will allow your crew to calculate torpedo solutions for you, though it does take a while and sacrifices some reliability. There are skills in the game to improve their accuracy and speed that you can assign to officers as they gain experience. But if you want to fire each shot, no matter what, you can turn on hardcore aiming mode and do the calculations yourself. If you're new to the game, you might find it helpful to turn off collision damage. It's easy for things to get a bit too close very quickly and your boat is fragile. Torpedo flaws are another setting to consider when learning. Ideally, you want your torpedo to strike as perpendicular to your target as possible, so as not to glance off the hull and miss the trigger mounted in the nose of the torpedo. Many of these triggers, known as pistols, were unreliable and duds were somewhat common during the war. Lowering the realism will make them operate more reliably if you're looking to get that satisfying explosion no matter what. In my U-Boat series, I prefer a much more realistic experience, but where I will sacrifice that is in the darker nights setting. When that's turned on, the nights become quite dark, making it nearly impossible to see. If you want a realistic immersion, go with that. If you're looking at streaming or recording this game, or simply want to see what you're aiming at, you may want to forego the experience of shooting into a black screen. The Torpedo Solution Preview setting is a newer feature in the game. If you're looking at the map and have your solution calculated, you will see a red line extending from your U-boat indicating the angle at which the torpedo will fire to the target. It is helpful if you're not quite sure how dead on your shot is going to be. Additionally, it will give you the vertical and horizontal impact angles when you are ready to launch, and it will tell you if you are in danger of the torpedo not exploding or if it's considered a risky long-distance shot. Turning these off will increase the immersion, but also the likelihood of a failed shot. In Season 2 of my U-Boat series, I played with this setting turned on as it was brand new and I wanted to try it. In future episodes, however, I will be turning this feature off. You can choose to do the tutorial mission or skip it. Just be sure to do only what you're told to do in the tutorial, as it is easy to get overzealous and consequently be unable to finish the mission. The settings I prefer to use for a realistic experience are as follows. Audio language is set to German. Save mode is set to normal as it helps for recording. Gameplay perspective is normal. AI difficulty is medium or hard. Economic difficulty is medium or hard. Expanded sailor management is checked. Morale management difficulty is medium or hard. Hardcore aiming mode is checked. Units of measurement are set to mixed, kilometers, and knots. Coordinate style is set to classic. Food management is checked. Mission completion is set to automatic only if there is enough fuel. Collision damage is checked. Torpedo flaws are realistic. Hide detection hint is checked. Realistic bilge is checked. Realistic earth curvature is checked. Darker nights is unchecked. Damage difficulty is set to medium or hard, and disabling torpedo solution previews is checked. This combination gives a 93% realism rate if all hard options are selected, 82% if medium is selected. I personally find this very satisfying, but never be afraid to set the realism to low and absolutely set the sea ablaze with the wreckage of your enemies. When you finalize your settings, you will choose the appearance of your captain. This is all cosmetic, but there is one thing to make note of. Your skipper is the only man on your ship allowed to wear the white cap. I highly recommend you leave him wearing it so that you may quickly and easily locate him on the boat. Give your captain a name, and you will be introduced to your boat, your port, and possibly your fate. Good luck, Herr Cologne.
The kind of music men hum or whistle when they feel on top of the world. And gentlemen, one of the many things that give you that tip-top feeling is the pleasure of being well dressed.